Hey Stampers, welcome back to Amy's Inklings. I'm Amy Whalen. I'm glad that you joined me. Today I'm just going to do a basic 101 tutorial on how to heat emboss. This particular card, I did a background. You've seen a lot of this on my blog recently where I've done backgrounds stamping with clear embossing powder. That's not ink, it's just the powder that's heated up to almost a plastic coating, and it gives the project an interesting color and kind of texture. It even has a little sheen to it, if you can see. So I'm just going to show you how to do some heat embossing. Very basic. Alright, this particular card was stamped with For Peeps' Sake, that little image there and the greeting. But the fern, if that's what you call it, or leaves, are actually stamped with Crazy About You. So let's put this aside. I have the fern or leaves attached to block D. Okay, now the first thing you need to do when you are, actually I'm going to make that flat, when you are heat embossing is we have an item called our Stampin' Buddy. It has, I think, some sort of a powder in there, and it is important to use that because what it does is it removes any static as well as oil from your fingerprints, because if you don't, then the powder we're going to use later will stick where you don't want it to stick. So it's important to do that first with the Embossing Buddy. I'm inking my stamp with Versamark. It's a clear ink that doesn't dry right away, so it works great, kind of like the way that glitter sticks to glue. Our embossing powder sticks to this Versamark ink. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of emulate how I did the background on that other card. So I'm just, again, I'm using this as a background, so it's not front and center. I'm going to go ahead and fold it this time to get this one in the corner, like that. And that's all I'm going to do for the stamping. Next is use our embossing powder. This is our clear. Sometimes I put it in a container where I can spoon it on. I don't have that handy. So here I am. I'm being pretty risky, people, because I've got my got my ceiling fan on. So some of this powder is going to start going with the ceiling fan. But okay, this is one way you heat emboss when you're too lazy to get everything out. Alright, so I have the powder where the stamped image was. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my card now and attempt to get all the powder back in the container. Hey, why don't you do as I say and not as I do, and don't do it that way, because like I said, the fan has taken some powder. Don't be lazy like me. Alright, so you can kind of see where the powder is, maybe, sort of. Yeah. Alright, so this is our heat tool. I love our heat tool. It heats up very quickly. Let me turn that off. And essentially you want it hot enough to start melting that powder. It's going to get loud, so I'm going to stop talking. You want to hold it in one place until it starts to melt, and you'll be able to see it starting to change color. I hope you can see that on the camera. Oh, you can. Okay, see how it's starting to get dark? I said I was going to stop talking and I haven't. Okay. And that is all, folks. Isn't that lovely? And that's how I created the background on this card. And I'll show you some others too that I had handy. This is one I did a long time ago. This background is on, this is Hello Honey cardstock, and that's what it looks like when you heat clear on Hello cardstock. And I posted this one not too long ago. I do clear emboss on white quite a bit. It has this ghostly effect that's absolutely stunning. And you've seen this before. I think this is my all-time favorite card. that I've made in a very long time. I just stare at it. I love it. I keep it on my desk. But this is crumb cake, and this is what clear embossing looks like on crumb cake. This was actually heat embossed in black. But this is clear, and I just think it's lovely. And then the last one I wanted to show you here was, this is actually not clear. It's called iridescent ice embossing powder. It works very similar to clear. There we go. But it's got a really cool glitter sheen to it. So it's kind of similar, but it adds a little sparkle too. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that you give heat embossing a try if you haven't already. I would love to give you some assistance. If you need some help, please contact me. I'd love to hear from you. And thanks for joining Amy's Inklings. Bye-bye.